Hey everybody, what's up? Red Bandit 94 here, and today we got my top 10 most anticipated games of 2017. Stay tuned, I'm going to be discussing them and why I'm excited about this year. First up on my list is number 10, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil has had a long history since the late 1990s. The first couple installments in the series featured tight survival horror elements that really got the gamer engaged and really into the moment and produced lots of scares. It was one of the first games that really focused on scaring the human and the gamer, and that really just brought people to the series. It didn't start out as a huge shooting game, but as the series went on and people know, Resident Evil took a turn after Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was highly successful. It came out on the GameCube and eventually got released upon a bunch of platforms. It's even on the next-gen consoles now, but it went through some ups and downs. Resident Evil 5 came out and a lot of people didn't like it, and then Resident Evil 6 took a completely different turn where it went full-on shooter. There was almost no survival horror aspects at all. And now we have Resident Evil 7 making its way on my top 10 list at number 10 because, well, from everything we've seen, it looks like it's finally going back to its roots and going back to the survival horror days. We've seen demos where you're in the kitchen and you're in this creepy house, which they say isn't even in the actual game. That's just something they created for us. So if the demo is anything that we can expect from the game, it's new that it's in first person. I think that actually makes it a lot more intense and scary. I like that they go in first person, and it's going to be really exciting to see. I hope they really return to the roots, and it's made its way onto my list at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have the much anticipated spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, Yooka-Laylee. Yooka-Laylee is a 3D platformer made by the minds of Banjo-Kazooie. I'm not completely sure if it's Rare who's making the game, but it's the lead guys who are in charge of making Banjo-Kazooie, so you can expect everything that you got from Banjo-Kazooie, which is collecting items, solving puzzles, collecting a certain amount of a certain item to reach the next land or the next big area that you're trying to get to. Banjo-Kazooie was huge for me in my childhood. Banjo-Kazooie and Super Mario 64 are probably the two top most played games I played when I was like, 5 or 6 years old. Banjo-Kazooie was actually the first 3D platform I, as a kid, completed all the way through. I didn't get all the puzzles, but it's the first game I completed all the way through. I never really played Banjo-Tooie, which is a shame because I heard it's really good, but I'm super excited to jump back in with Yooka-Laylee. With next-gen graphics, you got the guys who were fully committed to Banjo-Kazooie. It looks like they're fully committed to Yooka-Laylee, so I'm ready to get my hands on some 3D platforming. Coming in at number 7, we have Microsoft's Dragon Riding Adventure, Scalebound. The reason why Scalebound made my list is simply because we just don't know that much about it. We've seen a couple trailers and we've seen a couple gameplay footage of Scalebound, which we see this crazy looking dude who kind of looks like Dante from fucking Devil May Cry, wearing a pair of headphones. We know he can somehow summon dragons, or he's riding dragons and he's facing giant beasts, and I mean, that's just the kind of stuff that excites me. I'm a huge RPG fan, and it looks like they're taking elements from, slashers like God of War and Devil May Cry and those kind of games and adding the RPG elements and the dragon elements. So that's why I'm excited for Scalebound. We really don't know too much about it, and I know it's crazy that it might make the list because of that reason, but that for me, that is why I want it. We don't know too much about it. It's an exciting concept. Will they be able to bring it to life? I mean, a lot of games in this year failed, so there's a good chance that this game's gonna crash and burn, but I'm looking positive, I'm looking optimistic, and at number 8, I'm excited to see Scalebound. Coming in at number 7, we have Sony's second attempt at a zombie survival game, Days Gone. Now, I know Days Gone isn't exactly a zombie game, they call them mutants or something like that, but they're basically zombies. But what it is it's taking us into a single player narrative and putting us into an open world, much like Grand Theft Auto or any huge open world game and that's what makes it exciting for me. we've really only seen one gameplay snippet where it was all like pre-programmed too. We can know it where all these zombies are coming in and they're in a warehouse and they're really focusing on like the amount of these mutants or zombies that you can fit on a screen at once, and it's crazy. There's like thousands at once, and they say it's running on a base PS4, not a PS4 Pro, and it really looks cool to me. I'm a huge into open world games, which is why this game made my list at number 7. And I loved Last of Us. I really never have been too huge into the zombie thing, but The Last of Us really got me into it. And to think of maybe that in a more intense, way more zombies, thousands of zombies on the screen at the same time, and in an open world where I can do anything I want at any time, I don't have to follow a strict story like The Last of Us, that just excites me, and that's why coming in at number 7, we have Days Gone. Coming in at number 6, we have Hideo Kojima's next big project, Death Stranding. The reason Death Stranding made my list is the same reason Scalebound made my list, and it's that we really just don't know too much about it. Kojima's really good at keeping what he's doing locked until when it's about to come out. So we've seen a couple trailers that say are running in-game on a base PS4, I believe, but on the second one we saw it running on a PS4 Pro and 4K, so we really don't know too much about the game. The first game was just showing off what the technical capabilities could do. We saw Norman Reedus on a beach-like area with a baby, and then these crazy guardians started floating in the air. That's about all we see this. We saw Death Stranding, and that's all we saw, and that's all that I needed to see to get me excited. Kojima's back. I've been waiting for a Kojima game that's not Metal Gear Solid, and we're finally getting one. And then in the second trailer, we see this heavier set dude looking like he's running through like a London type area, or like just some sort of like a Bloodborne area, And he has some sort of incubus with him that looks like he's like running from the government or something. So it seems like we're having this tie-in where maybe a corrupt government is taking over the city, and we know it's going to be open world, which is my favorite kind of game. So that's why at number 6 we have Hideo Kojima's next big project. Coming in at number 5, we have Microsoft side-scroller, Cuphead. Now, for the past couple E3s, we've been seeing Cuphead, and each time we see it, I get really excited or I feel a little disappointed and I get really excited. At first, Cuphead was a straight boss battle game where you would go through these intense boss battles, progress through the game and beat it. And as the years went on, we've been seeing them add elements of side-scrolling, like a Mario or a Mega Man, those classic 3D side, or not 3D, but side-scrolling platforms. So it looks like they've taken a more traditional approach now with Cuphead, where you go through the level, you side-scrolling, and then at the end you get those big boss battles, whereas before it was just a boss rush game where you would rush through all the bosses, as quick as you can, competitively, get the highest time. And that was exciting to me, but I do like the fact that they added more of a fleshed out more, make it challenging, have your puzzles, you gotta go through your platforming as fast as you can through the mission, and then you get your boss battles. Either way, I like the art style of the game, I like the direction it looks like they're going, and I hope this game doesn't flop like many games have in 2016. But at number 5, we have Cuphead. Now, this last part, top 4 through 1, these were the hardest because honestly, in my opinion, you can interchange them all. But coming in at number 4, we have Legend of Zelda Breath of Wild. Now, we already know what to expect at this point. It's a Zelda game. We're going to be going through the dungeons. We're going to be collecting items to use in the dungeon, to use against the boss, to collect an item to eventually, at the end, face Ganon. But Breath of Wild just looks incredible. They're taking advantage of a brand new engine that they're using. It's gonna be on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Wii U. So what we've seen is mainly Wii U footage, and it looks incredible, and it's just on a Wii U. I can't wait to see what the game looks like fully fleshed out on the Nintendo Switch. They say the game's more open, so you could, if you want, in theory, from the beginning, you could go straight to a certain dungeon, or you could go straight to Ganon's castle, but you're not going to want to, because you'll be way underpowered. But this game, it looks like they're finally listening to what we want. We want more standard RPG elements, but with the same Zelda gameplay that we're used to. You know, when you defeat enemies, you can loot them. That is awesome. You don't have to stick with your typical sword. You can get something that you have wooden swords, you have sticks you can pick. There's a lot. It just looks like the ultimate Zelda game. I have really high expectations for this game. I know they are depending on it to sell the Nintendo Switch. I'm predicting that it's going to be a Nintendo Switch launch exclusive, and I am super excited to see my number 4 game on this list, The Legend of Zelda Breath of Wild. Coming in at number 3, we have BioWare sci-fi RPG Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect is honestly one of my most favorite RPGs. I've played 1 through 3 like crazy. I love sci-fi. I grew up watching Star Wars, and that's just where the love for Mass Effect comes in for me. I know it's not a direct sequel, but I love the idea of just taking us to another universe in this Mass Effect world and just being able to explore it and see what kind of evil lurks within it. It really excites me. BioWare makes incredible RPGs. They've made Mass Effect, but they've also made Dragon Age, which if you haven't played is a great series. I know a lot of people say after 1 it just kind of went to shitters. I didn't care for 2, but Inquisition is great and I trust BioWare. You know there's going to be tons of decision making, you're going to be heartbroken at certain decisions. There's going to be people dying that you don't want to die. I just can't wait. This is a new Mass Effect game. We've been waiting since Mass Effect 3 to see if we were gonna continue Shepard's story or be drawn into another world. We know that answer. We're taking on a whole new story. We get to explore a whole new universe, and that's why Mass Effect takes my number 3 spot. Coming in at number 2, we have the long-awaited sequel to The Stick of Truth, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. South Park: The Stick of Truth came out in 2015, and it surprised me so much. We've had so many shitty games over the years with TV series and movies trying to adapt to games, and when I heard that Trey Parker and Matt Stone were actually going to be working on the whole script themselves, I knew this was going to be good, and boy did it deliver. It has fun RPG, just action. You have fun loot system, fun leveling up, and the fact that we're just going to be able to see what they can do with this next project, what they can do, how they can make the battle system even better than it was. You know they're going to be writing a crazy script. The first one was insane. There's just so much I can say about it. South Park is one of my favorite shows growing up of all time. I love South Park. I can't wait to see what Trey and Matt wrote for this one. And at number 2, we have South Park: The Fractured But Whole. And coming up at number 1 for my most anticipated game of 2017, you could have guessed it, Red Dead Redemption 2. This should be no surprise for anyone who actually knows me to be coming in at number 1. Rockstar practically makes my favorite games. I love Grand Theft Auto. I know a lot of people think it's overhyped, and maybe it is, but something about Rockstar games, they've always drawn me in. My first one I remember playing as a kid was GTA 3. I never really played the story, but I just loved running around shooting people, and then I remember playing Vice City, and that's the first one I actually played the story through, and I actually realized I just love that kind of gameplay, just running around shooting. And I know it's simple, but Grand Theft Auto just always have had a way, or not just Grand Theft Auto, but Rockstar has always just found a way to put you in this world and just build the world to be so lifelike, and you feel like you're living in this world. And that's what I loved about the first Red Dead Redemption, is that you just felt like you were living in the wild, wild west. You have all the wind and you have all the Brussels moving, and they are pay so much attention to detail, and to know that we're getting a better engine than Grand Theft Auto 5, probably a modified Grand Theft Auto 5 engine, and it's going to be coming first to Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We have no confirm of a PC release date, but I am crossing my fingers because GTA 5 was just amazing on PC, and I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption, and that's why it's coming in at my number 1 spot. Thank you for everyone who watched this video. I know there's a lot of games that didn't make the list. I tried to make the list confirmed games for 2017 so far. And I know there's a lot of games like people will say God of War is missing or The Last of Us 2, and the reason I don't put games like that up there is just because they have a history of delaying their games for a long time before it comes out, and I just don't believe those games are going to make the 2017 list, and they might, but I just don't believe it. But thank you for anyone who joined. Leave a comment in the video saying what your top 10 lists of most anticipated games are. Remember, this is my personal list. These are just games that I'm personally excited for, so everyone's going to have a different opinion. Leave yours in the comment section. I want to see what everyone's looking forward to for 2017, because you might push a game out of my list and I might get excited about something on your list. So if you like this video, give it a like and a subscribe. I appreciate the support. I'm going to be covering all the latest game news for the next year and forward. This is what I like doing. I like making content for you guys. You guys support me, and I want to support you guys with more content. So thank you everyone for watching the video. This is Red Bandit 94 signing out.